You're listening to The Credit Pros on Real Estate Radio New Jersey on 1250 AM WMTR. Now, your hosts, local credit experts Damon DiCrescenzo and attorney Jason Kaplan.
Welcome, everyone. This is The Credit Pros on Real Estate Radio Northern Jersey. I'm Jason Kaplan, and you're listening to me on 1250 AM. We're here every Sunday. This wet, snowy, wild Sunday morning. I'm here with Damon DiCrescenzo, my partner. Damon, say hello.
Hello, everybody. And for those who don't know, Real Estate Radio, it's a show that's dedicated to building New Jersey's housing, credit markets, and we provide real-world solutions to real-world problems. So we talk about some of the opportunities here in Jersey and New York, if you're hearing us in New York, and some trusted advice. So that's our message, and we'll be delivering it every Sunday between 7 and 8 a.m. right here on 1250 a.m. And I want to remind you that if you ever have any questions about real estate or mortgages or your credit, please give us a call on our off-air line. We're happy to assist you. Jason and myself will pick up the phone and speak with you personally. Our number is 973-771-5118. Again, 973-771-5118. Or you can visit us online at creditrepair.to.
We're here in the studio today with Jennifer DeGraza as well as Sean Marshall. They're here from Superior Mortgage. They're going to be talking to us a little bit during the second segment. Say hello, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to Real Estate Radio. I have something I want to talk about first because it's been bothering me. Not been bothering me, but it's been kind of curious to me. If you were in a parking lot because of the terrible shooting that happened this weekend, do you think you'd be tough enough to grab that gun? Because I was listening to all of the bystander stories, how the old woman got the gun away. I don't think I'd reach for it. I think I'd be hiding under a car.
That's number one, that says a lot about you personally, but outside of that, I don't know if I would go for the gun. I think that it's a matter of proximity. I think it depends on how far the shooter is with the gun versus how far I am from the nearest car, or how big they are or how little they are, and how many people have been shot. There's a lot of different factors.
Yeah, but I don't care if they're 2 feet away from you. If you're looking at that guy's crazy eyes, you're telling me you'd go reach for that magazine right out of his hand?
No, and we were having this conversation off air, and hopefully the people that are listening have seen the picture. I think it was on the cover of the Post of the Crazy Eyes killer, because his eyes are wild. Now, if I would have seen the eyes, it's something completely different. If I wouldn't have seen the eyes and just the gun, maybe would have went for it. Once you see those eyes, I'm not so sure. Because you think he'll bite you. If he can't shoot you, he'll bite you. People are crazy.
I agree with you 100%. The other nutty thing is, didn't the old woman who grabbed the magazine away from him, did she sit on him? Like, that's what I read. Was she fat? I don't understand what the story was.
She would have to have been, right, to keep Crazy Eyes Killer down. I don't know, really. It's a terrible thing. It's a tragedy what happened, and I think it speaks volumes about the dialogue in our country. And that's a whole nother story about how nasty things have gotten. I drive to work every day. I listen to conservative radio, not because I'm a conservative, because that is the only thing that's on is conservative talk and conservative talk and conservative talk. And it's a little bit depressing about how nasty things have gotten. And personally, it turns me off from the entire process. I want to check out of it completely. I don't even want to be a part of that public process.
Well, I think that's kind of the issue, too, going on in society, only because everyone thinks that all these politicians in Washington, it's a machine and everyone's bad. But if you read, I think her name's Gabriella Giffords, if you read the story about, who she is and where she came from, she was working at her father's tire store, selling tires and lube jobs, and she decided that she wanted to go into public service, and she ran. I think she's her third term, but when she was elected to the House, she was the youngest congressman in the House. She was the youngest representative.
Right.
So, it says something for a young person like that. She's out there. People say they don't have access, and she's out there. I think, a Pathmart shopping center?
Yeah, and it shows you what access actually gets you. So, you may think that your life is bad. At least you don't have to serve in public office and have a bullseye on your head.
It makes you want to be Bloomberg with all his bodyguards
and money. So let's talk about some fun stuff. We're going to dive in today to some things that, if you listen to us here at the Credit Pros, you know that we like to talk about what they don't want you to know, what the banks don't want you to know, and what the credit bureaus don't want you to know. And today we're going to talk about what the credit card companies don't want you to know. We'll go through a few of these, and these are the top 5. Jason, what's the first one?
Well, there's a lot of things that happened in the last year, and everyone knows about the Card Act of 2008, which really went into effect in 2009 and 2010. But what happened is all of these laws basically passed, changed the way the credit card system works. So the first one that I want to bring up is the fact that you can negotiate your interest rate. This is twofold. I mean, the credit card companies really don't want to lose you as a client. So if they send you offers saying, hey, surprise, your 10% credit card went up to 20, 25%, you do have an option to say no. You can negotiate with them and hopefully they'll keep your account open. But under the new laws that were passed, you could say no to it and they can keep your card at the same percentage rate with your outstanding balance at the same percentage rate. The caveat is, unless you negotiate with them, your card will automatically close.
But if you're a good paying client and you see the difference is, they'll send you a letter saying, hey, I'm sorry, we have to raise your 10% to a 19.9%, but it's rare that you get a letter in the mail saying, oh, by the way, we've lowered your 19.9 to a 10.9 because we like you. They're very prone to leaving it at the set higher rate. But the point of it is you can negotiate with them because they are in business to make money. If you've been a good paying client, you carry a balance with them, which they want ultimately. If you call them and try to negotiate a lower rate, then you have the potential of getting that lower rate, especially if you're a good client.
Absolutely. And listen, if you're a girl and a guy's on the phone, it doesn't help to flirt with them, and same vice versa. Be as nice as you can because anything helps. And they have scripts. I mean, when you call up those call centers, what you want to do is you want to go to the retention center, because the retention center are people who have scripts of what to say and how to get people not to close their credit card accounts. And I'm not going to say that you're going to be let go of your high interest rate completely and they're going to forgive your $10,000 credit card debt, but there's always room to negotiate.
That's right. And what's the worst they're going to say? No.
Yeah,
no, I'm sorry, we're not going to lower your interest rate. Thank you. You hang up, call again. You get somebody completely different who has no idea you spoke with the last person because they're not even in the same hemisphere. They don't keep track of all that stuff. Just ask for somebody else.
No.
Hi, do you think I could lower my rate? Sure. Did you ever call before? No. They don't know. They don't know.
Well, let me ask you a question, Damon. I get paid on the 15th. My credit card payment is due on the 13th. Can I negotiate the due date?
You can. And you can negotiate anything, as my dad used to teach me. Always ask, because again, what's the worst that they can say is no. Some people like to have all of their bills lined up in the same week over a month, and that makes good sense to do because obviously then you're able to plan ahead for your month. So if you have a due date that's not fitting into your schedule, all you need to do really is ask. Ultimately, they want to make sure that they get their money, right?
Yeah. And now here's a little side note. When we talk about due dates, we're talking about the day the payment is due. But on this show, we always talk about your credit score, and utilization rate, which is the balance you're carrying, is a big portion of your score. Don't confuse the due date for the date that the card companies report to the credit bureaus, because the card companies report on one specific date. So if you pay off that bill after that reporting date, the balance showing on your credit report is going to be the same thing for the next 30 days until they report again.
That is good credit repair strategy. If you want more credit repair strategy, actually, you should be speaking with Jason personally about it. Pick up the phone and give him a call. 973-771-5118. Again, 973-771-5118. Jason, what else do we have that the credit card companies do not want you to know?
That was a very good segue, Damon. That wasn't even rehearsed, so we're getting much better at this show.
Thank you.
You can ask for a higher credit limit. Occasionally, they're going to review your account, check your payment history, ask for a salary or an income that you make, which they will never check. It's always good to maybe, explain to them all that extra money you make on the side.
And what happens? What is the big benefit for your credit score, which is ultimately what we talk about here, when they raise your credit limit on your credit? Let's say you have a credit card that's maxed out. What happens when they raise your limit? What happens to your score?
Well, your utilization rate changes. Same thing we talk about. 30% of your score is the amount of money you owe compared to the line of credit you're carrying. So the higher your limit, the lower your balance, the better your score. You want a huge separation between the two.
Sure. So let's say you're in a pickle and you have a low credit score, but you're trying to get a mortgage. Well, a quick and easy way of being able to quickly raise your credit score is adjust your utilization rate. Ask for an increase on your credit limits. And if you've gone then from maxed out to a 50% utilization rate, your credit score jumps accordingly. and hopefully you're able to get your deal done.
People always say, and there's so much misinformation out there, but when people call up, they always say, well, I had too many credit card accounts and I think too many accounts are going to hurt my score. And that's completely incorrect. What happens is the more amount of money you have available, whether it's on 3 cards, 10 cards, 20 cards, the more amount of credit you have available, the better your score. And the better protection you're going to have, not that I want you to go out and charge your cards, but say you go on a nice trip, or say your car breaks down, or God forbid someone has to go to an emergency room visit and you don't have your insurance. You don't want your score to suffer because a big expense came up. And that's what happens. So you always want to have a lot of room available, not just for your score, but to protect you as well.
Yeah, right. And regretfully these days, and if you're listening to this, and if you're an American, you're a human being, and you have credit cards, you know what I'm talking about. But every day people are getting a letter in the mail saying, well, we've lowered your credit limit down 50%, whatever it may be. So you're sort of combating them. Why are they doing that? It's not because they hate you. It's ultimately because they have too much exposure in the marketplace, and they're lowering everyone's credit down. They have too much credit out there. They want to get some of the risk off of their books. But what's happening, and conversely to what we're talking about, if they're lowering your credit limits, guess what else is going down proportionally? Your credit score. So it's something really to keep an eye on if you're not mindful, if you're not watching the store and they've lowered. And another thing, if you've paid, let's say you owe $2,000 and you make a payment, okay, well, I'll pay these guys down $1,500 and then I'll have a great low balance. And then as soon as you make that payment, the next day you get the letter in the mail, well, your credit limit's been lowered to $525.
They've been waiting for that check.
Waiting for the check. And there's not very much you can do. There's not really very much recourse. You can close your account if you want. But the idea is you got to watch the store, maybe try to get some other credit, maybe try to increase the limits on the credit that you can, that you're able to. You
got to play the field. You never want all your eggs in one basket. And the same goes with credit cards as well as your social life. You want to make sure that you always have options out there so you're never put in a bad situation, or as Damon says, a pickle.
Did I say that?
You did say that.
So if you have any other questions about credit repair or problems with your credit, or you want to know what a utilization rate is and you want to hear it from an attorney, give us a call. Call the Credit Pros at 1-800-411-3050 or our local number, 973-771-5118. Jason, we'll go through one more of these. We have, what can we do? You can ask to have a late fee removed. What do you think about that? You
can get late fees removed. Sean, Jennifer, don't people come in and you see it all the time? I think there are rules also, especially with mortgages, in accordance with credit cards, that don't late fees kind of put you out of the qualifications for different mortgages and stuff as well?
Specifically on the on your actual mortgage, if there's a late, typically we need it 12 months without being late. So, but as far as the credit cards, I've had personal experience. If you miss a payment or something like that, you are able to get that removed if you do some negotiations like everything else.
You have to ask. The idea is if you don't ask, you can't get it. So what we tell our clients to do at the Credit Pros is pick up the phone and call your credit card company and tell them that you broke your leg, your dog ate your homework, your brother got sick or got put in jail like my family. Whatever it may be, cry foul and ask for forgiveness. And the worst that they're going to say is no, but a lot of times if you get somebody with a heart, they have the ability to press a couple of buttons and remove that late payment and put you into a whole nother world.
Mm-hmm. And I'm here to help you, but it's a scorched earth policy when I get involved. I don't play around. So what we're dealing with when I deal with people is we're dealing with the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the guidelines, the protocols, the regulations that by law things are reported. But I tell all of my clients, you catch a lot more bees with honey than you do with vinegar. So a quick phone call, reaching the right person with a nice story can get a late payment taken off rather than having to go through the burning of the fields by me that lasts anywhere between 45 days sometimes.
Right, when you're a nasty attorney, when you act as the big bad attorney. But here's something also that's important. If you call up, I know that we do this and we tell our clients, if you call up and they agree to remove the late payment, ask for it in writing, because they so frequently and they forget to remove it. They forget that they told you that it's not in writing, and then you pull your credit report the next month and your late pay is there. If they're agreeing to help you, ask them to send you a letter. Ask them to send you a fax. If you're working with a mortgage broker, that is your golden ticket to get a mortgage, because they'll be able to use a process called Rapid Rescore. If you don't know what that is, give us a call. We're happy to help you. And they'll be able to get you to the finish line and be able to help you close your mortgage.
Yeah, I mean, I'm helping a client. It actually came upon my desk today. Actually on Saturday. And what ended up happening was they actually tried to get into a loan forbearance program, which means they put their payments on the back end of their mortgage because the husband lost his job and they couldn't afford it and they wanted to keep the house. The bank agrees. Next thing you know, a couple months later, the sheriff's at the guy's house, dragging him out of the house because the foreclosure proceedings went through. It all got cleared up, but now 2 years later, there's another heartbreak in this family because now they're trying to refinance to a lower interest rate now that things are back on track for the family again. And guess what? There's late payments from the 5 months before he got thrown out of his house and the 2 months after he got thrown out of his house. So now it's a process of letting them know that, hey, we had an agreement, you guys admittedly messed up, all these problems happened. I can deal with emails that kind of hint upon the problem, but you know how easy it would be to get those late payments removed if I had a letter saying, welcome to the forbearance program, everything's been changed, no problem, we'll take care of it, dated the month before the late payment started. I'm sure they sent it at one point, but it was never saved. Right. So those type of documents are very important, not only for today, but years from now when you're going to refinance. It could go to credit cards, it can go to mortgages. All this stuff makes a difference. Keep good records, please.
Well, thank you, Jason. Guys, stick around. If you're interested in what we've been talking about, I want you to give us a call at 1-800-411-3050 or our local number, 973-771-5118. I want you to stick around because we're going to be going through the final one important thing the credit card companies do not want you to know. Also, we have some very special guests in studio. You're going to learn a lot about the mortgage that you've been trying to get and perhaps you've just been denied for. Jen and Sean are here from Superior Mortgage. Stick around. This is the Credit Pros on Real Estate Radio Network. 1-800-411-3050, or you can contact us at 973-771-5118, or visit us on the web, creditrepair.to. Stick around after the break.
For all your credit problems, concerns, or questions, call the show's off-air number at 973-771-5118 and speak to the hosts of the show, Damon DiCrescenzo and attorney Jason Kaplan, directly. 973-771-5118. This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.
Hello, Jason Kaplan here, host of the Credit Pros on Real Estate Radio New Jersey. I'm thrilled that I get to speak to you every week and bring you the truths about your credit. A lot of stuff you hear in the news is just flat out wrong. If you want the inside knowledge about what's going on with your credit, that's what I'm here for. Give me a call at 973-771-5118. That's 973-771-5118. Whether you're looking to buy a home, get a job, apply for car insurance, your credit's the most important factor in these decisions. I can help you make an educated decision about what's going on and what's best for you and your family. It's easy. I give you the real facts and you decide what to do from there. Just give me a call. I'm here to help. 973-771-5118. That's 973-771-5118. Or visit us online at creditrepair.to. Thank you for listening, and we'll be back from the break soon.
The Credit Pros on Real Estate Radio New Jersey is hosted by local credit and finance experts Damon DiCrescenzo and attorney Jason Kaplan. The purpose of the show is to help consumers understand what's really going on with their credit. They're teaching you the why and the how-to, so you'll always be one step ahead of everyone else. If you are having problems qualifying for a purchase or you're tired of high interest rates because of bad credit, Jason Kaplan can help. Call Jason directly at 973-771-5118. That's 973-771-5118. Take advantage of speaking with Jason anytime you're having a credit problem. Having someone who can answer all of your questions that truly cares about you and your family's best interest is priceless. Call Jason Kaplan and the Credit Pros today, and you'll be glad you did. 973-771-5118. That's 973-771-5118, or you can visit creditrepair.to for more info. Jason, tell me what the Credit Pros on Real Estate Radio New Jersey is all about.
We're helping to dispel all the myths and misconceptions about credit. Myself and my partner, Damon DiCrescenzo, are certified credit counselors and credit experts. I'm an attorney, and what we do is we help you understand what goes into making a credit score, how the negative items impact your credit score, how the lack of positive items can also impact your score. There are so many parts to the Fair Isaac credit scoring model that people don't understand. I'm here to unlock those keys.
So what are some of the things you're helping the people of New Jersey accomplish with their credit?
Well, when it comes to doing anything in your life, buying a car, getting insurance, getting a job, passing security clearance if you're in the military, everything comes down to your credit score. So what happens is if people are not watching their credit score, if they don't know how to solve the problems that they're facing with their credit, they're going to have issues. So we need to help them deal with all of these issues.
So who out there listening right now should call you today?
Anyone that looks for a job, that's living and breathing out there in New Jersey. What happens is credit scores affect everything like I just mentioned. So if you're concerned, confused, if you have a particular question about a particular circumstance, just give me and Damon a call. Our number is 973-771-5118.
It's just that simple. If you want the free credit advice in New Jersey, call attorney Jason Kaplan and the Credit Pros right now at 973-771-5118. That's 973-771-5118.
For all your credit problems, concerns, or questions, call the show's off-air number at 973-771-5118 and speak to the hosts of the show, Damon DiCrescenzo and attorney Jason Kaplan, directly. 973-771-5118.